So this is none other than your host, strong and black and hot and raw, going in, up in the walls. Steve from the back, blowing out your backside. That's usually not how I start the intro. So the intro is usually something like what is it? It's usually pretty not really thought out. It's never thought out. It's always it's always on the fly. It's always like sorry about the fan. I hope you can hear me over the fan because it's hot. You know, this is Steve from the back. This is your host, none other than your host. It's hilarious. Wait, making that it almost sounds like a Yogi Bear voice. Like a Yogi Bear. Like, your mother effing host. I'm trying to keep this kid friendly, so I'm trying not to curse. So I apologize, but really, I'm gushing with humor because I feel like cursing. Alright, I feel like going on a cursing ramble right now. Okay, so basically, this video is about creating your own MUGEN tracks. Okay, this is about creating your own MUGEN music tracks. Not the train tracks. Not the tracks. The tracks. The MUGEN tracks. Okay. The music, the soundtracks. So this is a program. There's a program called, I believe, Linux Multimedia Studio. I think that's what it's called. But it's what I use because it's what I'm familiar with. Sometimes I'll use what's called MuseScore, but I don't have that, and I have not downloaded it on this computer simply because it takes up more space. It's a better program. Not better. I'll say it's different. It sounds more acoustic. The sounds in it are much better. I think you can import MIDIs into it or something. So it's not necessarily better. It's better if what you're going for is a more refined acoustic sound. Now, if you're going for more of like a 8-bit Nintendo sound, which is okay, and it is appropriate for MUGEN. Actually, anything is appropriate for MUGEN because MUGEN is like TikTok. It's a zoo. So, yeah, you basically, you can make any type of music in there if you want. Doesn't really even have to be musically sound. It doesn't have to have rhythm. It could be whatever style you want. It's just whatever you want. Usually how I make the music is I'll start off with like, a melody or something. Or it could even be the concept of a sound. And sometimes if you hear a sound, it can turn into a melody. Obviously you want to create a vibe. Whatever vibe you're going for is what you're going for. Now I'll give you some history about me. Usually I go for a lower tone or a lower frequency, lower vibration sound. Because I just happen to be more of a gothic type of person, and a lot of the cultural things that pertain to me are more primitive cultures. You know what I mean? Come from more primitive cultures. So usually things are more low. A lot of times I turn the pitch down. I usually a lot of times go for a more what's the word? Foreboding, or is it like what's that word? Ominous. That's the word. Ominous sound. And a lot of times that's exactly what it is. Whether it sounds good or not, or whether you like it or not. The frequencies and vibrations are soothing to me because I resonate on, not all the time, but on a lower frequency. And this isn't just about like making music, and this is gonna talk about frequency a little bit, about how there are lower, higher, and mid frequencies when it comes to sound and music and vibration. And I'm not going to go deep into vibration because this is not going to be some spiritual rant. This is going to be about making music in Mugen, but also talking about the connection between frequency, sound, and music. Of how some people like certain music, some people don't. So some people like a lower sound, some people like a higher sound. I'm gonna keep it there, keep it moving. So I was raised in a city called Bridgeport, predominantly black. Um, and it's funny. I'm just mentioning this so you get kind of an idea of some things. How like um, I grew up hearing a lot of different type of music. When I was really tiny and young, like a child, my mom listened to jazz mostly. That I remember. Okay, she listened to people like Sade. Uh, I think someone called Anita Baker. What's the lady's name? She's even listened to Tina Turner before, and a lot of other things. Stevie Wonder. So she listened to a lot, but she listened to a lot of different types of music. Like she listened to gospel, she listened to R&B, and it's funny because like my mom is a very good mom. She's a very nice person, and I was like a weird little kid. Like literally, I spent most of my time either hearing melodies in my head in trying to sing, or was a tiny little child looking like a stinking scrawny gray alien. If you could imagine this, like a little alien in my tidy whities on the floor all the time, crawling around, standing up, jumping around, and always drawing. Usually, I used to draw a lot. Like when I was a child, like just like obsessively. It was disgusting. I think like, why are you do something else? You know what I mean? Sitting on the floor and always on the floor. You know what I mean? Like to this day, I think that's why I'm so connected to the ground and the floor. Is because of that. Because like I can't ever escape it. Like it looks so weird to this day to see me always on the floor or on the ground or crawling around on floors as an adult. But it's never. And that's a whole other thing, but it's just a thing. The floor is a thing. The floor is a thing. That sounds weird, but whatever. So anyway, what I'm saying is I heard a lot of music growing up. My sister used to listen to a lot of stuff. Like she used to listen to things all the way from what's that? Good Charlotte, which is a band, to Jadakiss. If you know who Jadakiss is, that's some pretty hardcore raunchy hip hop stuff. She used to listen to Ludacris. Seven Dust. She used to listen to a bunch of different types of things, like even like pop. In sync when it was. I'm 33, so you gotta understand. Like she was listening to my older sister was listening to like Backstreet Boys in sync. So what it comes down to is basically that my understanding of like whether it's good or bad, but like my understanding of music composition and like rhythm and sound vibes is very spread out. I used to be in a church. Ever since I was little, I was going to churches. So I've heard so many choirs. So a lot of music I do like sometimes is just choral. It's very vocal. It can be classical. It can be a choir. Even if it's straight up like dark and demonic, I love choirs. Like I love when the sound of people in a group singing. You know what I mean? And I like things that are very ceremonial or very ritualistic. So, and it's actually very primitive, kind of. Whether you think it or not, it's extremely primitive. It's very primitive. So, even a friggin' monster could and will sing, most likely at some point. Believe it or not. But so with that being said, that's my understanding of music. My understanding of music is frequency, pitch, rhythm, what's it, tempo, sound, vibe, um, and that's really all I can say. So the thing is, when you have your Mugen, let's get back into like the Mugen side before someone. Probably rambled so much that people probably forgot this was a Mugen video. So when you're making your Mugen tracks, or when you're making your tracks, it can be whatever you want. You know, it doesn't have to be a certain type of thing. Uh, it doesn't have to be anything. It could literally sometimes be distorted in choppy, and it could even be the notes may not line up. It could be crappy. It could be whatever you want, and it might purposely be like that. Sometimes I purposely make things sound a certain way that sounds disjointed to get an effect. I've heard music where people do the same thing, like they try to get a certain effect going, and it sounds like weird, almost sounds disjointed at first, but then it turns into a certain type of melody with a certain type of sound and vibe. That's just like really, it can be really eerie. I tend to like a lot of eerie things, so a lot of times that's what it has to be and what it is, you know. Not always, but more than less. So what you do is, my computer's about to shut off, so I better plug it in. I better put the charger in. So what you do is, what you better do. Not I'm telling you. I'm not asking you. I'm fucking telling. Whoops. This is supposed to be kid safe. I shouldn't have said that. That slipped out. What I'm telling you is what you gotta do. This is non-consensual. I'm just joking. See, the humor's starting to come out. All the humor is it's seething. I'm a very seething person. It's seething. You can't tell. You can't just look by. I mean, you can't just tell by looking, because you'll never know. But I'm always seething with something, whether positive or negative. I'm always like on the verge, on the cusp of exploding of something, exploding with something. So what you do is you go into your program, whether it's Cakewalk, whether it's LMMS, whether it is what's the other one? MuGEN, whether it's GarageBand if you're like a Mac person, whatever. You go into your thing and you make a track. Now you can add in anything you want to. You can add in lightning, thunder, rain. You can put DJ sounds. That's something I like to do. Sometimes I like to put friggin' DJ sounds. I like to put those like they're like DJ sounds, and a lot of them are like hip hop sounds. Some are even sound like they're Jamaican sounds. Everyone knows what DJ air horn sound effect is. So there's certain sound effects that I think are hilarious, and I like to put them in at random places sometimes, and I just like it. It cracks me up, and sometimes it cracks me up because it really doesn't make sense. Like there'll be this, it'll be just a M.U.G.E.N fight, and it'll be a fight, and then all of a sudden you'll hear like gal, girl like gal out of nowhere. I just think it's hilarious, or the DJ air horn, or sometimes even I'll be on a rant, I'll say something, and it to me it's something that's profound, something that's very true, so I'll put the DJ air horn sound. So you can do whatever you want with your M.U.G.E.N, man. You can put even like inappropriate sounds in there if you want. If you want to. I'm not saying I advise it. But so you go in the thing, you make a sound effect, or you make a track, or whatever. You make something, and then you plug it in to your Mugen, or when you're editing your video, you plug it in shamelessly. The plug is in. It's all up in there. Shameless plug from the back. So the plug is in. You know, you put your plug in, put your music, your sound in, and now your signature has been slapped onto the Mugen. That's your signature. It's like an energy signature. You know, your music is a signature, and it is violently slapped onto there. Just slap it on there, and watch it turn red and jiggle. So, you know, that's the way that goes. So that's what I do. That's what I recommend. If you make your own music content and you put it into your projects and in your Mugen, I believe then there's no chance of copyright strikes, because if it's not copyrighted, if you created it, or even if it's something that is like literally you took something that wasn't your copyright, and if you put your own spin on it and made a song somehow, like a fan theme, or even if sometimes I'll make something that's an original track, but it's a fan theme, like of something. Like I'll make up some music, but it'll be like my fan theme of some character or char or whatever you want to call it. You can do that too. You can do whatever you want, but I don't see any copyright strikes that, like, how, you know, there, like, because it's something you made, like, you made it. It's not from anything. So yeah, that's what you do. So if this is just something that maybe you want to do, that'll definitely make your Mugen more fun. You know, it'll make it way more fun, and it'll make it something to look forward to as creating something if you're looking for projects to do, because you might find a character that you specifically want to make some type of music track for, or whatever. So, you know, or you may want to make certain music tracks for certain things, specific commands, like for instance, character win theme, character loss theme, sudden death, you know, whatever. You know how matches and games go. So, that's the rant. I'm cutting it off. This is Steve from the back, blowing out your backside once again. Explain that to your husband, how that happened. Don't explain it. It never happened. That's just the way that goes. And why don't you, matter of fact, just leave him, divorce him, and you know, get with Steve from the back, so you can just walk funny for all of eternity. Have a good one. This is not kid appropriate. You know what? Whatever, man. This is going into kid friendly. Listen, kids, if you're listening. You don't even know what I'm saying. Just watch the video, listen to your parents, create stuff, use your musical talent, have fun with it, and, this has been your host, Steve, from the back, and have a nice day.